Live. Hello, world, and welcome to this special live podcast launch. My name is Yuriy. I'm the founder and host of the Awkward Mind podcast, and it is my pleasure today to share this special live launch with 6 other amazing podcasters that have been on this journey with me. And without further ado, I'd like to bring them in and introduce them to you now. Hello, guys. Welcome.
Hello.
Thank you for being here today. So we have today with us Tiana Scott of the Terror Talk with Tia podcast, Michael Mcginnis with the Essential Revolution, Monica Barnes with Sefaholic, Unapologetic Aussie, also known as Scott the Unapologetic Aussie, who is incognito now in Australia, and Carmen Wilde with Business Without Borders, and last but certainly not least, Moon Mason of the Moon Mason Experience. So, guys, I know we have a limited amount of time, so I'd like to jump right in and have you each share a little bit about your podcasts. And Tiana, why don't we start with you? Tell us about the Terror Talk with Tia.
Okay. Basically, it's just taking a journey of self-discovery through the esoteric arts, through the path of Tarot, as seen how the Jungian archetypes play out through the path of Tarot, through the 22 major arcana. So it's kind of discovering your light and dark side and your blockages, any trauma, and so working through that angle of it as well, incorporating that, and then also Kabbalah, Jewish mysticism, astrology, numerology. So all the esoteric arts, but focusing mainly on your psyche through your own spiritual journey of self-discovery, but as seen through the Jungian archetypes, through all those esoteric arts. And then, we'll go through the Fool's Journey. Carl Jung thought that there was many symbolisms between all the metaphors and symbology of the archetypes that were very congruent of the archetypes, the Jungian archetypes that go through the path of Tarot.
Very nice. And why did you start the podcast?
The podcast was kind of, the tarot cards have always been a hobby, and it's really expanded my spiritual journey, seeing discovering the psyche and blockages through that way, and also to develop subscribers. My first love is screenwriting, so whatever you do in the creative arts, you have to develop your own following now. So just as a fun way to do it, develop a following. So whatever other creative journeys I go on in the future, I'll be able to grab those subscriber base and kind of play off of it.
Very good. Thank you. All right. Very good.
YouTube. Yeah.
Thank you. Let me move on here, and I'll catch you up with another follow-up. Let me get to someone else. So, Michael, I'd love to hear more about the Essential Revolution. So tell us a little bit about that.
So yeah, the Essential Revolution podcast is basically where we talk about things that are happening in our world right now, and kind of find how it's a direct reflection of where we've all kind of gone on this journey of life together. I wrote a book about it called the same thing, The Essential Revolution, coming out within about a month and a half. And so, yeah, we sort of like dive deep into the shadow and the shadow of oneself, and also find out the bigger truth behind what's happening, who's responsible, including ourselves to a certain extent, and that kind of stuff.
Awesome. That's great stuff. And why did you start the podcast? Because I know you also have a book coming out by the same name. Is that right?
Yeah. That's why I started it, was to be able to sort of have a conversation around, because the book has sort of exposes. I kind of knew what was coming. I didn't know they were going to do it in the form of a virus, but I've been writing this book for 3 years, and so it sort of dives deep into all that kind of stuff. So I figured we should do a podcast so we can have a discussion about the same thing,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Very good. Very good. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
All right. Excellent. So, Monica, tell us about Sefaholic.
Sefaholic is a podcast where we call it Becoming Addicted to Finding Your True Purpose in Life. From my experiences and my travels, we've learned to, we come from the position of your spiritual being having a human experience, not a human being having a spiritual experience. And we connect with our higher selves, or our higher purpose in life, and work from that basis of doing what is in the best interest of your higher self, and talking to the everyday person that are dealing with everyday issues, and how to learn to walk your true purpose in life. People think to become spiritual and do that, you have to be Gandhi, Mother Teresa, the Dalai Lama, and you don't have to be. You can just be you and do it that way.
Amazing. Thank you for that. That's beautiful. And why did you start it?
I started it because I'm seeing I get a lot of with my spiritual counseling. I see a lot of people that are coming to me at a later age, trying to fix themselves, the broken selves, and I'm trying to get to the younger age so that they aren't broken, so that they can start their path and start their life whole.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. All right, very good. Thank you, Monica. All right, let's hear from the mystery man, Scott, the Unapologetic Aussie. Tell us a little bit about your podcast.
Hi, Yuriy. Thanks for the intro. Look, my podcast is essentially a dive into the unspoken, that which the mainstream media will not touch. The conversations that people don't often have, and when they do have, they have behind closed doors because they're too afraid to speak about it out in the open. So I have conversations that really get people thinking, not just parroting information or telling you something you already know, or coming up with different random theories not based in fact. I like to have my conversations rooted in fact, rooted in real life experience. And so far we've talked about everything from nutrition and kettlebells to, look, I'm not going to give too much away, but go over and check out my podcast at the Unapologetic Aussie. Just search for Unapologetic Aussie. You'll find it on any of the major platforms. Some really fascinating conversation on how society kills men and boys, on how to be a man, what your father never taught you. And the latest podcast that I'll be releasing in a few days with John Katsavos from VO Fitness. Very, very, very fascinating. I mean, you guys are going to love that one. So I'll just leave that as a little mystery teaser for everyone to jump on.
Excellent. Scott, I know we may lose you, so tell us, what was your biggest challenge on this journey?
Look, my biggest challenge, it's interesting. Firstly, really finding a niche to begin with, because I knew that I wanted to speak about topics, but I just didn't know what I wanted to speak about specifically, because there's just so much that's not talked about that needs to be spoken about. And also part of the learning experience, it's been such a curve because you don't realize how much is involved in podcasting until you actually start. So going from that scratch stage all the way through to the end to where I'm at now, I mean, it's just been a roller coaster. And given that I work nights and with the time zone differences, I'm usually on our classes from about 2:45 a.m. till 3:45 a.m. And it's been quite tiring, but it's been challenging and it's been enjoyable. And I've loved doing it with all you guys. It's just been such an incredible ride, and I've loved every minute.
Amazing. Thank you, Scott. I think a lot of us can relate to what you just said there, and we'll hopefully get a chance to touch on that. All right, so let me hear from Carmen. Carmen, so tell us about the Business Without Barriers.
Thanks, Yuriy. So I'm really excited to introduce you to the podcast Business Without Barriers. This is a show with a mission to prove that we can break through the myriad barriers we're facing right now on a personal, business, and social level, and create enriching futures. But we have to bring humanity back to business. It's a show for entrepreneurs and leaders who reject the status quo of struggle in an era of abundance, who reject the toxic behaviors of dog eats dog, taking from the many to benefit for the few, greed and egotistical power games that destroy the promise of a fulfilling future. It's time to take our power back, to take control of the present and future. It's time to stop the tsunami that threatens to fragment our world and wipe out our humanity. But what we've been doing up until now isn't working. The consequences of a flawed program is evident. Vulnerable business will not survive this alone. So if we are to change the course of human history and set ourselves up for success in a world where everyone has an opportunity to thrive, then we've got to change and switch to a whole new paradigm of thinking and behavior. One where we take the me hat off and put the you hat on, where we move from me to we. We've got to tap into the power of our interconnectedness and combine our strengths, our talents, our skills, and our experiences. And that way we can lay the foundation for a new and enriching human story. So for me, this is not just a podcast, it's an alliance. And if you dare to join the movement that brings back humanity and is driven by a human code where we connect in love rather than disconnect, where we calibrate for truth rather than decimate through misalignment, where we co-create solutions and add value rather than exacerbating the problems we already have, and where we celebrate each other in gratitude and celebrate every single step that we take forward, then this is going to be the place for you. So every week I'm going to be showcasing courageous men and women who dare to go to the edge to follow their truth, who make the grit, who have the grit to make the impossible possible, who'll share their highs and their lows, who'll even be vulnerable, and who'll share their strategies to overcome barriers to success. And by them sharing all of this, we'll be able to learn and grow every single week and add so much more value through our work, which will create new opportunities. And then through our engagement as an alliance, we'll slice through the challenges we face and we'll co-create solutions for an enriching future. So I look forward to you joining me in taking back our power and bringing humanity right back into business where it belongs. And then together, we will write a new business and human story we're proud of. And thank you to everyone watching, and then so much love to all of you wherever you are in the world tonight or today.
Awesome. Thank you, Carmen. And of course, all our podcasts can be found on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all major platforms. All right, so let's move on. Moon, tell us about the Moon Maison experience.
So the Moon Maison experience is going to kind of tap into all the different sectors of my life, whether it be spirituality, wellness, sexuality, even influencer stuff, modeling stuff, maybe relationships, plant medicine, like really everything. That's just my life. It's just like totally normal to me, but I just, don't think that people know about some of these things. Clearly, they don't. And some of the information that I'll be talking about is definitely information not on mainstream media, definitely things that I've had to either research a lot or tried a lot or, really like dug deep to find answers and solutions to different things. So kind of things that aren't in mainstream media as well. So yeah, just kind of everything.
Awesome. That's cool. That's cool. So why did you start it? Because it sounds like you're trying to take a sort of a broad look at life.
I started to just have a different platform for kind of broadcasting these types of ideas and kind of just another avenue to even have fun and to try out.
Very nice. Very nice. So I guess I should take this moment and just thank you, Moon, and say, once again, I'm Yuriy. I'm the founder of the Awkward Mind podcast. And the idea behind the podcast was that as I hit my 30s, I was sort of slowly gaining weight and quickly losing time. And I realized with all the outrage and negativity out there, we needed to go beyond the divisiveness and start real meaningful conversations with real people so that we can improve our mindsets, take personal responsibility for our lives, and take charge of our health, our wealth, and build strong, meaningful relationships that last well into the future. And that's why I started the Awkward Mind podcast. And that's what we do every week is we have those conversations with real people. There have been 10 amazing conversations so far. And I feel like I have grown as much from those conversations as anyone else. So in some ways, as I say podcasting, and maybe you guys will agree or disagree, but for me, it's been a journey of self-discovery and almost in some ways a selfish journey, although I appreciate all of the support from the people that are watching now or that have listened and have given me feedback. So it's been inspiring. And I'm actually curious to hear from you guys, my fellow podcasters, about sort of your experience and where you see looking back 7 weeks when we started to now, and how have you yourselves have changed? I'm curious to get
personally, for me, it's been a really
Scott?
exciting experience. It's been a really exciting experience. I didn't realize the breadth of fascinating conversations that I would be having with different people. And I didn't realize that I would almost make a grown man cry the other day with an off-the-cuff question that was totally unrelated and seemingly not that much of an issue. So that was kind of cool. And it's just really been fascinating. And I love that I can have conversations where I can agree to disagree and really get people thinking. I learn things, they learn things. It's just a beautiful learning experience, and I love it so much. It's been such a great ride.
Yeah. So will you stop here, Scott? Oh.
No, I definitely won't be stopping here. Sorry, I've just got a bit of a delay there.
All right. Very good. Thank you, Scott. So Monica, tell us.
Part of what I've been doing is interviewing some really incredible young ladies that have had to overcome some extreme obstacles. Erica, who came from abuse in the family, to go on to leave her home at 17 and get her degree, and now is out saving the whales with her own podcast, Reaching Extinction. And Alexa Sanchez, who has CP and dystonia, and she gets up, and you will have to listen, please listen. She's incredible. And as her family says, she gets up every day and puts her big girl panties on. What I'm learning is that these young ladies deal with so much to just get up every day and get out there and live their lives from so many issues and struggles or pains that, what am I complaining about? You know, what are all of us complaining about? We don't have that. And I'm finding so much inspiration from interviewing and talking with these young ladies, and also other influencers, Samantha Jane, Shirley, these people are coming onto my show, and I am grateful. That's another thing. I am having so much gratefulness, gratitude for these people giving their time. And I think you're all experiencing that you are having all these people donate their time to come onto our shows. So that's what I think that's the biggest thing is the abundance, the gratitude, and the fact that I get up with a purpose now, a bigger purpose now every day.
Wow. Awesome. Thank you, Monica. Carmen, I saw you wanted to chime in as well.
Yeah, thanks, Yuriy. For me, it has been just such an absolute growth experience, and the the gratitude I have with people coming on and sharing the wealth of insight. It's like in 1 hour, it's unbelievable how much richness you can get and how much people are willing to share. They condense like 40 years of their 20, 30, 40 years of experience into 1 hour, and you've got these nuggets of gold. And the feedback that other people are already sharing about how just one little sentence or one nugget or one mic drop has already impacted. And that just gives me so much gratitude to have the platform to share such a wealth of insight. So it's been an unbelievable, a tough experience to get to this place with so many dynamics involved, but the most beautiful, expansive experience, which I'm very grateful for.
Awesome. Thank you, Carmen. Tiana, yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts, because I know you've hit some challenges and some resistance on this journey, but here you are. We all have podcasts out there in the world. So let's hear it.
It's kind of incorporating the why as well. I mean, I love, again, to tie in what was propelling you to go forward and through the resistance was from an artistic point of view, loving that journey of co-creating with people. And if you're an artist, that you need that a lot more so. But also the two connecting that, piggybacking, we all have our own resistance, but there's a larger one too. We're all going through a collective trauma right now. So I think everyone's podcast, whatever you can contribute in your way to lift the higher vibration, because again, we just got dropped into a sci-fi movie that it's a moving parts. So it's whatever your individual journey is and whatever personal trauma you have. And now we're experiencing collective trauma together globally, which is unheard of. I mean, no one would thought, if you thought 6 months ago or in December, was this a possibility a couple months later, like in January, February, or March? So that's one thing. And as far as the tarot, the reference to that would be the Tower card and the 22 major arcana. But the resistance, again, that's twofold. So there's always a technology resistance for those of us who are not adept as some other people. So you have your personal resistance, which would be, your fears of putting yourself out there and being vulnerable, which is an issue, and, being accepted and all that, which I can work through that. But there has been some other personal issues with that. That was kind of a PTSD, which using the tarot and the Jungian archetypes, working through trauma anyway, personal trauma and the collective trauma. So I was working through my own with complex PTSD, and now we had this. And so then the technology issue, it was just compounded. It just got to a point where it got overwhelming and then the deadlines, there was so many moving parts. So I'd say the resistance was twofold. The vulnerability aspect, putting your creative part, whatever you co-create to put out there, and content and how you want to micro niche it and all that. That's a lot. That's a large bit to chew off in a time frame. And then also the technology. No, but happy, like I said, whatever, that we're all took the step to do that during this time when other people are still kind of wondering what to do. So I think that all of us, it was so brave to do it, however it plays out personally. So as hard as that is, and we talked about that in our Monica and Tatiana and I a little bit further when the guys jumped off, but continuing this on further as a subgroup chat to just kind of propel and cheer each other on the journeys that way. But that being said, to sum it up, everyone is, as some people are more ahead, have more interviews. I know that I didn't, because of some of the collective things. I chose not to drop out, and I'll just put more content up. I think I won't be as under pressure when this is over, so I'll have to go back and finish all my accountability. But I'm an adult. I was like, if I drop out, what am I going to do? Not get a report card? The whole point is I'll still be able to take this journey and do more content and go forward. So, I had to step outside of that and go, well, what's the worst, So the important point is if I can take this and still create content, however slow or challenges that might be, and as far as my everyone's whatever design team and Carmen's, yours looks fantastic. So I look at my as far as Betty Boop, that is one thing that it's a moniker for me, or to remind us of our inner child and to still keep our playfulness. So
Awesome, Tiana. All right, so yeah. I gotta stop you there because we're running short on time. But thank you very much for sharing it, and congratulations on getting through your resistance. Congratulations. So, Moon, I'd love to hear from you because I know you were traveling through some of this journey, and which made it extra challenging in some ways. So, what have you learned in 7 weeks?
What's the question? What's our challenge through this?
I guess, yeah, some of the challenges that you faced, and I know you've sort of traveled during this time, and then looking back, how have you yourself have grown?
I think, I've always been the type to just kind of like do it, and I don't, even though I am actually a perfectionist, just doing it, I also do as well. So I'm like, I think I'm pretty balanced actually. So I think just doing it, just trying it, and we're going to get better as we do it. Like for example, I'm definitely going to do a lot of solo casts and meditations and even hypnotherapy because I'm also certified in that. So I think it's just a learning process, and it's going to be fun to see where it goes.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Thank you. And Michael, I see you muted yourself there. Did you wanna share anything more? Hi, there you are, buddy.
Yeah, it started raining, so I had to close the door so it's make a lot of noise. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you sound great. Actually, the rain might be helpful. It's sort of relaxing.
I got a lot of it here. So I came into this thing with the idea of to really learn how to do all this, and that was great. I got a lot out of it. What I did also discover was that I'm not going to be an interviewer that much. I mean, we'll probably have a few people on here and there. It's not that I don't like it, but I feel like it's going to be more of a transmission and a conversation with me and a hostess, and it's going to be more. And I got to learn that was best for me, and that was like worth all of it. So I'm really grateful for the program and to have you guys on with us, and it's been great. Thank you.
Yeah, amazing. And thank you, all of you. I think for me, the biggest challenge was actually doing exactly what we're doing right now, which is putting myself in front of a camera live and just sharing some of my thoughts and my feelings and getting the feedback and all the amazing support from both inside the Broadcast Yourself community and especially this amazing group that I'm on with live now has been incredible. And also from all of you out there in the world, because I found I've made a lot of new connections all around the world. Because for those of you watching, you may not realize it, but we actually have everyone from Hawaii to Australia with us on this stream. So it's 6:30 a.m. on Sunday in Hawaii, and it's 2:30 a.m. tomorrow, Monday morning in Australia. And we're here able to share with you guys. So it's been amazing. So I just want to real quick, maybe like a 1 or 2 sentence closing from you guys, if you have anything else or how we can connect with you. And then we will wrap it up because I know we have our own private party that we have to get to shortly. So
you can reach me
Monica?
on at Sefaholic.tv on my webpage, which you can reach out and contact me on. I'm also on Instagram at self.aholic and also on Facebook at Facebook Sefaholic.
Awesome.
And also my podcast, which is out there on all the broadcasting stations.
Yeah, actually the Spotify links to all of the podcasts are in the description to this video. So if you're watching, as soon as we're done, go ahead and click through and give us a listen. We'd appreciate it. So anyone else? Moon, how can we get in touch with you and stay in touch and follow you?
I think my main platform is on Instagram at Moon Maison, and my I have a lot of different websites, but the podcast one I think is going to be moonthegoddess.com.
Awesome. Very good. Carmen? What's
so I have business. Yeah, sure. So Business Without Barriers is a Facebook page. And then on Spotify, Anchor, Apple Podcasts, you'll find Business Without Barriers over there. And just looking forward to connecting and for us to celebrate our successes together and learn amazing things and impact through our work.
Very good. Thank you. Scott, if you're with us still, what's the best way to find the
Yeah,
Unapologetic
sure.
Aussie?
You can get me on Instagram at Unapologetic Aussie. Email me unapologeticaussie@gmail.com, anchor.fm/unapologetic Aussie, which will give you access to my podcast on all of the major platforms, including Spotify, Google Podcasts, and Apple Podcasts. And very, very soon I will have a YouTube channel and a Facebook page up, but you'll be able to access that through the bio of my Instagram page. And you can also drop me a DM if you want to come on the podcast or invite me on yours, or even just ask me a question about something that I've spoken about.
Awesome. Thank you, Scott. And Tiana, what's the best way? And then we'll get to Michael and then we'll wrap it up.
Okay. Well, on Instagram, Tarot Talk with Tia, and I do have a Facebook page, Tarot Talk with Tia, although DMing me on Instagram would be easiest. There's also Tarot Talk with Tia at Gmail, and I have a website under construction under that. But so probably Instagram or under Tarot Talk with Tia and Gmail, Facebook, Instagram.
And Michael, how can we stay in touch with you and learn more about the podcast and maybe the book as well?
I think the essentialrevolution.com, we're going to have a landing page on that, and that's probably the best way to kind of keep in the flow of what's happening.
Awesome. Amazing. And of course, you can just watch this space for the Awkward Mind podcast, or go to awkwardmind.com and connect with me there, and would love to hear from you. Well, guys, it's been amazing. But like I said on my vlog earlier today to my audience, and as I've said to you privately yesterday, this may be your launch, this may be your graduation, but it's really your commencement, just the beginning. And it's been an honor to share this journey with you guys and to continue to build these relationships. And I look forward to seeing where we all go from here. And of course, for everyone watching, you can find these amazing podcasts on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all Google Podcasts and all the major platforms out there. All right. I think that's all for now. And we'll see you guys later.
Thank you, Yuriy.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Bye all. Thank you for watching.
Oh. All right.